Hey everybody, Brett Dawson from Sellout Crowd with you. Excuse the background and the poor lighting. On my way for a little weekend getaway. Did not make it to Montreal tonight, but here for a quick reaction to the Thunder's 128-125 loss to the Detroit Pistons up in Montreal tonight. You know, the result, much like the first game for the Thunder, not really meaningful. A loss where they blew a 21-point lead, but, you know, with the starters in the game, pretty comfortable leads. Jalen Williams, J-Dub was plus 18 tonight. Josh Giddey plus 16. Thunder had a big lead. Lu Dort had a monster game, and it was really more about him than anything else. 24 points in his return to his hometown of Montreal. You could hear just on the broadcast the way the crowd was getting behind him and the way the crowd was getting behind the Thunder, the defense chants, the OKC chants, people standing at the end of the game. Lu Dort was long gone by the end of the game. Starters didn't really play that third quarter. And so what happened there, the loss, the way the Pistons rallied, none of that stuff is super meaningful. Mark Daigneault said this week, if the scoreboard's on, the Thunder going to try to win the game, but not a super meaningful setback. Some of the meaningful stuff, aside from the way Lu Dort played, and he was great, both in terms of his shooting, 5 of 9 3-pointers, but also the way he attacked loose balls, the way he defended, really played kind of the classic Lu Dort game. A lot of hustle, made some shots, and certainly seemed to be soaking up the atmosphere of playing there at home. The other things that seem to matter a little bit to me, Chet Holmgren, the continued development of Chet Holmgren, 14 points, 4 rebounds, 3 blocks. We saw how effective he can be around the rim. On the flip side of that, you know, Isaiah Stewart, Beef Stew, got in there, used his body to shield off a couple of potential blocks from Chet. That's something we'll be monitoring, I think, over the course of this whole season, how Chet handles those bigger, stronger post players who try to back him down and use their bodies to sort of ward off his block shots. Meaningful, but also a couple of really nice offensive developments. Made another 3-point shot, had a great sort of shot fake in the mid-range, drove and finished. He had a pretty finger roll. Chet Holmgren looks like a real player, looks like a really good offensive player. It's preseason. We want to be careful, you know, where we go with these assessments at this early stage, but he looks to be as advertised at the offensive end, and the defense is certainly coming along. We're seeing some of that physicality and the way that might affect him. Pistons were pretty comfortable driving into his body, but he also got some shots that he blocked, and certainly some that he altered. Work in progress, certainly coming along, but he is coming along nicely at this stage. Vasa Micic makes his debut a little rocky, as you might expect for a guy at this stage, 29 years old, playing his first NBA action. You know, had a couple of nice moments, set up Chet for that 3-pointer, made a couple of threes of his own, but airballed one, had the ball ripped away from him. A couple of decisions that you wonder about. Again, this is a 29-year-old NBA rookie, and, you know, playing this game, not the international game, but the NBA game for the first time. Going to be some adjustment period there for him, and that was very natural, and you saw it a lot tonight. There'll probably be some ups and downs, but again, doesn't have the game under his belt like a lot of these guys do. Rotationally, not a whole lot to draw from this game. The Thunder did play starters into the third quarter, built that lead again that they blew when some of the reserves came in. I don't know that you can draw a lot from, you know, rotation decisions tonight, especially in the later stages. Jack White, who didn't play until late in the last game, didn't really get any action tonight. If you're looking to kind of handicap the race for those roster spots and who might not be on this team, certainly looks to be a little bit behind some of the other guys, although Mark Daigneault was very complimentary of him this week at practice. The other thing that's, of course, notable in a game like this, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander returns, makes his preseason debut, sat for rest in the first game against San Antonio the other night, and Shai was Shai, 12 points, looked good at both ends. I thought the one notable play for Shai, makes a step-back 3 from near the top of the key, and that's a shot, you know, that's a shot that Shai can make, but also a shot that I would tell you he's been working on a lot. We've seen it at the end of practice when we're allowed in at the end of the day. Each practice he's been staying after and working not exclusively on that shot, but extensively on that shot. And so I think that step back 3, something he wants to make even more a part of his arsenal than it already is. The 3-point shot for him, interesting. He cut so far back last year and had his best year, and yet I think there is some interest in him extending out his range, taking and making a few more of those shots. It'll be something worth tracking. Not a whole lot to say about tonight in terms of the result, but I think a positive step for the Thunder in terms of some of their starters playing a few more minutes, in terms of Chet Holmgren's continued education, and certainly in terms of the experience, the vibe, the atmosphere for Lu Dort. I think had to be a great night for him. The Thunder will spend a couple of extra days, or an extra day. They will spend a couple of days total in Montreal. They're headed off to Charlotte after that. They leave on Saturday for a Sunday preseason game in Charlotte. Then it's back home. They'll take on the Milwaukee Bucks in Oklahoma City and see the Pistons again next week in Tulsa. I'm going to be on the road still. On a little miniature vacation, as I said. Who knows where I'll film from on Sunday, but I'll do another one of these videos after the Sunday Charlotte game, and then back home for more extensive coverage for the games that I'll be attending next week in OKC and Tulsa. For now, if you check this out on YouTube, take my word for it, the backgrounds will be better in the future. So give us a subscribe, give us a like, and continue to follow all of our coverage of the Thunder and OU and OSU over at selloutcrowd.com. Thanks, everybody.